Hello guys, this is Darius from NetFoundry. This is a follow-up video to the Ziti TV episode on Friday, May 20th about the Ingress load balancing. We ran into some issues, configuration issues, and we ran out of time. So just wanted to give you an update, show you that this actually works. So let's get started. Let's not waste too much time. Let me share my screen here. Yeah, so I followed the guide here and did some additional configuration to get the private routers deployed. But basically, to recap, this is what we've set up. Is actually I've set up 2 islands of in Azure, 2 different regions, and we're trying to, and they have no reachability between them on private IP addresses. Basically, one region is .10.15.0.0/24, and the other one is .10.17.00/24. So they have no connectivity and they can only connect through Ziti network. And then we added a load balancer, and I have a nice script set up, so I'll post the link for that, so you don't have to do it. It actually has a nice button that you can actually press a button and you can kind of add some configurations, your specific configuration to deploy it to your Azure regions. So let's get started so we don't waste too much time. So you can see, like, well, I'll recap all this at the end, just a little bit, but just to show you, this is the controller that we are running here, and I think I'm still logged in. No, I'm not. So I'm gonna log in again. My password. Okay. All right, so just to show you the services, so we have that. We also have the fabric, so you can see that. So the terminators are provisioned automatically because it's a hosted, and basically that means that you have your configurations checks out on your policies and your services, and that's it. So that's how you can check if your service is configured properly. Ziti Fabric, well, that's one of the ways. Ziti Fabric is routers, so you can see it. I have 5 routers, 4 dark and 1 not dark. And you can see it because the listener is only own one of them, right? So the other ones are dark, not listening, basically. And you can see it 4 links. That's what we would expect. Obviously, the one on the controller router is in East. So the East 2 are very low latency, Central US a little bit further away. So you can see it, the latency is higher, which is expected. So that's it. So that's that. We'll go over that at the end if we have time, but I'm trying to show you this. So these are the 4 edge routers that are configured. You can see it's Central US 1 and 2. So we're going to enable logging to see what's going on. They're running. That's it. They're running. So we're going to kind of push the logs a little bit up to the top so we can see new logs. You're going to see new logs, and then I also have clients, which part of the deployment template. So you can run it yourself in the region on a new resource group where you have no resources. Then you can deploy this, and you can actually delete the whole resource once you're done the resource group. So you don't have to worry about what did I have before or after. So you can just clean install. So there you go. So I have Central US clients at the top, and then US 2 clients at the bottom. And just to show you IP route, so you could see it. IP route. I don't really have any routes to the other, really. IP routes I don't really have, right? Has nothing, doesn't even know where 15 is, right? So the top one is 15, 10, 15, and the bottom is 10, 17. It's like, whoa, what's going on here, right? That's it. It's magic. Okay, so I'm gonna listen on the bottom ones, right? I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna set up a listeners on the netcat. So this is 6. I'm gonna listen on 6. Here I'm gonna listen on 7 port, not port, but IP. And we configure the service to 8805 to 8810. So those are the only ports allowed. If you try any other ports, it will be denied. So we got to use one of those ports. And then we're going to try to connect from the other side. So let's say I want to connect to the bottom one, which is 6. Yay. So 1017. Oh, look at that. Oh, the logs. It used the right left side of that. So it looks like, oh, I used the curl. Sorry, guys. Again, I did that again. So the curl obviously is not going to be very compatible with. So we basically want to use netcat. I don't know how come it switched. I thought I had netcat anyway. Come on, guys. All right, so again, sorry for that. So let's again go, oh, that's 17, sorry, that's 17, not 15, because we could connect to ourselves. And you can see it, right? The bottom one, yay. All right, so now I'm done with that. I'm gonna go to the number 7, which is one on the right side. And you can see it's still going through the same routers. That's what the algorithm does, right? We can, at the end, we can kind of check out the algorithm. So you can see that the load balancer is actually working. So that's one. Let's go to the one on the left and see what happens. So now we're gonna go through this guy to see if this one can reach any of these, right? Oh, look at that. I actually did connect to that one. Control C. And then that's 6. Look at that. They use actually the one on the right. Cool. Right? Because the one on the left has debug enabled. So you see more debugs. On that one, you only see that many logs. You just see the interception log, basically. That's why. But you could see it. It used actually the second one. So yay, there's a load balancer in front of it. All right, that's cool. And so I have to show you because I would have had to show you. We'll have to show you the algorithm, but this one actually picked that right. So that's cool. So now I'm going to switch this over. I'm going to listen on top so you can see it's both directions. So that's 7 at the top there, I think. Yeah. And then I think this one is 4 here. I'm going to be using all 4. Yay. So, so now we're going to try to use this guy to actually connect to 7. Okay. And look at that. The bottom one was the one that intercepted the traffic. And then go to here and say, I want to go to the client 4. Wow, look at that. The one on the left intercepted the traffic. Cool. So you can see the load balancer is working. Yay. And let's see. And then I do, then I'm going to do the same on this side. So I'm going to go to 7 first. And the one on the left intercepted the traffic at the bottom there. You can see the logs going across. And then let's see if for this one, if it's going to load down, so we're going to use the same ingress. Oh, look at that. I actually use this different ingress. So you can see it, they use the one on the right. Cool. Nice. So you can see it. I don't have to even show you. It's actually doing the log balancing because actually the IPs were actually different enough to actually for the hashing algorithm to hash across 2 different gateways. So you can see it, the load balancers there is working. Cool. Nice. So that's it. I mean, yeah. So I'll post the links to the templates. So just to yeah. So I have the links. So you can go to I'm gonna post it, but if you go to GitHub, this is OpenZiti, but if you go to my repos that I'm connected to, and then go to NetFoundry. So you have to find github.com NetFoundry, and then look for Azure deploy, and then right now it's in my other branch right now, but I'm gonna make in the next day or so. I'm gonna merge it to the main branch, but basically it's gonna be OpenZiti. I'm gonna put any documentation for OpenZiti, not the documentation, but the templates for Azure in here. So you can see it Azure templates right there, and then kind of gonna write some more documentation here, but you can see there's two ways to deploy it: Azure deployment with the CLI, and then I created this nice Azure button here. So you can actually, you don't have to install anything on your machine. You can just go to this GitHub and click on deploy Azure. And look at this. Whoa. And then you can fill in your information and you're gonna actually get installed basically in one of those. You can select you can run it twice as I did it here. So you're going to get installed 21 resources in your, let's say, central US. If you pick, it's going to install 4 routers and a load balancer, and it's going to set the routing table for you. You just have to do a couple of things there, which I'm going to list it in basically in this README file. So this is not complete. This is just initial version. I haven't merged this yet to the master branch. So there's going to be more information here. So just to show you that. And then you can see the services were configured. So you need a bind dial for each service because it's hosted service. So you need this bind and dial. And so you need to configure service configurations and all that. The only catch here is that make sure you configure here, because if you don't, it's going to revert to 0. Basically, there's nothing here when you pull this up, like in this situation. If you're going to start new interception and you're going to see nothing, if you don't put anything in here, it reverts to 0. And this is connect timeout. So that means you give him no timeout. You give him no time to connect. And it's just going to fail every time. So you make sure to do that. And then service policies, make sure, you have these central your identities, right? So bind is basically binding service to the identities in central, and dialing is basically to identities not in central. That's what that is, and it's the same for so these are 2 different directions. That's why we have 4 different policies. And then service edge routers, you want to make it easy for yourself and just do all in all for now, because this is further restrictions on what can be used or what routers with services and all that. But I think that's for simple cases like that, this is all in all. I think we all use all in all for now. So to make it easy, so you only control with a service, basically service edge policies. And edge router policies, basically, because you're using a tunneler edge component within the edge router. So this situation is it creates this edge router becomes this gateway, basically, because it's got the tunneler function built into it, and these are created by the system. So you don't delete those, you don't have to do anything. They create it for you, so you don't have to do really much with this kind of scenario. You don't have to really do much here. So all you have to do is just basically make sure you have all in all here and services policies like this, and that's it. So yeah. Also, I wanted to, so when you configure this, when there are health checks in here, because there's built-in listeners here. So let's say when this one goes away, the health checks break, and then it switches over to this side. So I think the next video probably want to show you a little bit how this, or maybe you can do it yourself. Do a test to shut down the shut down this VM, or shut down the process here, and see what happens when you switch over. It should only go to this one, not to that one, because the health checks are broken. But that probably a good content for next video. All right, I'll see you around. Thank you. Bye.